Hi everyone, my name is Mehran and welcome to another episode of The Sunday Thing. You're watching this on May the 10th, 2026, episode 18. This show is practically a weekly thing where I try to chronicle as much of my life as possible in a full year so that by the end of episode 50 whatever, which is going to be late December, I want to go back and see if I've improved in storytelling, in filming, and obviously in speaking to a camera. Now, usually in the past several weeks, I've done these videos in my in my little studio back home, and because usually I've been stuck at work in between projects, and when I had like a couple hours of downtime, I would say, hey, let's do the video. However, since it's extremely gorgeous out today and I don't have a lot of things that are of high priority to do, I said let's just have the episode as a walking talking head while I go and get some shopping done. So for the past few days, I have not really been able to film much since after like last week's rehearsals and like work stuff. Like my back really got a bit worse, but over the past few days it's starting to get better. I have no idea what is going on, and there's no way this is just simply old age. I refuse to believe it's just old age, because this felt like something else. It felt like some kind of a, I don't know, like a nervous system sending a message, yo, just take some days off. Because even though I don't have any classes anymore, I don't really work outside of here anymore much. I had been more glued to this desk and to my stuff, to the guitars and everything, more than before. So I took a couple of days from essentially Sunday evening or maybe Monday morning off. I did make 2 vlogs. It's a new series that I'm calling Gig Vlog, because we got the call for a show in June, and I want to document as many steps of it as possible. Anyway, the point is I finished the song of the song performance music of the Sunday Thing. I filmed it yesterday. I edited it last night. Very, very slowly I am getting back on the horse, and I'm just getting back to doing the stuff. However, yesterday morning I received a phone call from a business institute, and they called and asked if I was available for some, I guess, freelance, maybe on the side kind of a job, since they're an international school and I'm an international language expert, whatever that means. So they wanted me to help them by being a member of their jury for the interviews, in-person interviews with their international students, which is awesome because A, it gives me a purpose to get out of my house, and B, well, I want to see what's life like on the non-government side of education, since I work as a university teacher and I work for a government, for a body of government. Like it's a University of Strasbourg. So I want to see what's life like on the other side of the fence in the private sector. Supposedly this is a very, very big famous international school. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to invite unnecessary attention to this. My point is, they want me to show up at their offices, and we're gonna see where it goes from there. However, there's a little bit of a funny situation, and that is, I'm going to assume I should look the part, because we've only spoken on the phone and through emails. And so usually these people all, the suits and ties, that kind of people, not a biggest fan of that lifestyle. I don't even think I have, actually I do have, I think, one tie. It's like a black tie with a bunch of skulls on it, but I'm not going to use it. But I have to dress a little bit differently. The fashion I've chosen for the past 20 years has been the local friendly homeless guy, and we'll see what happens. For now, I just have to read the documents and see if I'm missing out on anything, and then it's going to be business time, I guess. This is so boring. Like, doing admin stuff is so boring. Oh my god. Okay, I have to leave my place in a couple of minutes, and I have this. I look like a clown. I know this. I think you probably have noticed this, but I have like ridiculously curly hair that does not want to sit well with any kind of combing and hair dryer, anything. I essentially a little while ago I went out and bought a hair wax. I'm ready to essentially play in like a grease off Broadway performance right now, because that's how greasy my hair is right now. And this thing is like cement, like fixer. Now the next step is to like find something appropriate to wear. So let's just go find something. This should work well. I think this should work well. I am not a huge fan of what is going on right now. One of these like serious, actually, this has to go. This is like 95% of my whole identity, but well. So let's just go. The question is, do I go buttons closed or buttons open? I look like a clown. I look like an absolute clown, and I am not having fun. But hey, made a promise. We gotta go do the side gig. So I guess since I'm not going to film anything for the next few hours. See you after the jury thing. And hold on, I just received an email from the university regarding the show. Okay, I have to fill a bunch of forms. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. For now, this thing has to wait. See you after the interview process is finished. Forgot a microphone. Can I just say how much of an absolute privilege it is to be able to work in an environment or to be working with the things that I absolutely love and alongside people and try to actually help people? That is really cool. It's really cool. Anyway, the interview day 1 is now finished. I was supposed to go there today and tomorrow and one random day towards the end of May, but they offered me a couple extra dates. They said, hey, we need people, can you come in? On one hand, I like to help. I like to be like helpful with the team there. It's money, it's decent money, but on the other hand, it's just, I don't know, it's a little draining. We'll see what happens. For now, I need to like wash this disgusting stuff off my hair and get ready for round 2, which is tomorrow. Now, as you saw, the bulk of my responsibilities for this past week was participating in the jury of the international section of that business school that you just saw, organizing a couple music things because we're supposed to play a show late June. I would say probably the highlight of this past week, other than me finally getting my back since I've been suffering from a very strange back pain. I'm getting it back very slowly, so it feels really good. Other than that, I would have to say that we had a very nice rehearsal with with a new drummer, with Andres, and probably the last rehearsal with Vic, as he would be, I'm assuming he's going to be leaving here in a couple of days for probably forever. So that's a moment. And I'm trying not to think too much about it because Vic and I, we've gone through so much musical adventures together, and at least to see it come to the end in such a nice way, it fills me with feelings and emotions. But I can't dwell on this too much right now. The priority right now is to get the band back together, or get a band together and move on. So I guess the big plan for next week is going to be trying to find and convince the right bass player for our project, which is something I'm really excited to do, which means more music, more practice, more rehearsals, more singing, more playing. It feels really good to play with people, to play with the people who get your vibe and you get their vibe. It's a vibe. Another project thing that has me occupied for a good long while is my attempt, which are now more than just attempts, but my plans for my next album. Where was the store? It was here. For my next album. Something I never thought I would even think about, but now it has become more of a reality than I'm keen on admitting. But it's probably one of the craziest musical things that I've ever done in my life, and that has allowed me to really express myself and tell some stories I never thought I would share. But like the story of the album, the details of it and everything, which I am documenting, but I don't think they fit within the body of the Sunday thing, so I'm just gonna mention them and walk away from it, because this video is gonna be like 100 hours. We don't want that. So all right, I did my shopping and I'm headed back home, and I am, I've been thinking for the past, I would say maybe 15 minutes to remember what is the song, like the performance song of the week that I played for this week. I cannot remember for the life of me. So I really cannot give you an introduction of what it is, and I apologize for that. But hey, could be worse, right? I have had 2, maybe 3 moments in this video where I have denied old age, and I will keep denying it, because we know everybody forgets things sometimes. When's the last time you didn't forget something, right? But I'm sure it's gonna be a fun song, and if like this kind of video, if this kind of vibe really matches your vibe, it will be super cool to consider doing the YouTube thing and clicking on the subscribe button. That would be super, super cool. As always, I always understand if you choose not to. As for the next week, I have 3 more days of the jury thing I need to do, so it's going to be like the first half of the next week. That's going to be probably the most important thing. At the same time, I'll be looking for a bass player, or 2 or 3 or 10, and we'll see if we can ask them to come audition for the show. Now that we have our drummer, it should be, ideally it should be easier to find a bass player when you have the drummer who is like a machine. The guy is a beast. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it for this week. I hope you are staying safe. I hope you are staying sane. I hope you're drinking a lot of water and taking your vitamins, because, well, it's important. You don't want to like end up having random, random back pains or bursts of forgetting details, which has happened to me this past week a couple of times. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, night. I will be seeing you next week. In between this week and next week's Sunday thing, you'll probably see a couple gig vlogs. So let's go. Take care, and well, peace.
Un jour de plus, un rêve récurrent. Nous sommes le voyage, nous sommes la destination. Survivrons-nous de l'autre côté de la mer? Survivrons-nous à sa beauté? Et les portes se sont refermées derrière nous, et les bougies nous ont guidés jusqu'ici. Ta voix, tes larmes, tes yeux, ton âme, ta danse, tes lèvres, tes cheveux, ta flamme, ton corps, ton visage, tes bisous dans le froid de tes mains sont les signes de ma vie. Tes mots, tes vices, ton corps, tes désirs, ton souffle, ton chant et tes mélodies. Quoi que tu crois ou que tu crois pas, ils sont tous les signes de ma vie.
I think I can hear the metronomes also bleeding into the microphone. I think I may have, like, if you hear the metronomes also, that's my bad. Sorry. Should I get them out? Well, see you next week.